Okay, these are some more problems from section 6.1, and these are the graphic matching, and these are kind of tricky, so we'll do these in two steps. First of all, we're going to try to match these up. So we've got these over here, these six problems, dy dx equals x, y, x minus y, y minus x, y divided by x, or negative x divided by y. Okay, so let's take a look at the first one, and we'll try to go through these now. There's six of them, so we're going to use the process of elimination. So hopefully that'll help us narrow it down. First of all, dy dx equals x. So that means whatever my x values are, the slope is just going to be that. So all the x values will have the same slope. So I look over here, and I can use a ruler, and I'm just going to look long and see are all the values of x the same, because I would, right over here, when x is 1, the slopes would all be 1. Now you see these slopes are different. These slopes are definitely different. So let's look over the other ones. So the slopes are always going to be the same. So like when x is 1, the slopes are all going to be 1. Here the slopes are different. Here they seem to be different. Some are going up, some are going down. If I look over here, here the slopes, some are going down, some are going up, and here, look over here. All these look to be the same. In other words, like when x is 1, it looks like the slope is 1. When x is negative 1, it looks like the slope is a negative 1. So definitely this looks like this is going to be number 35. So 35 would be C. Okay? Right over here. All these slopes are the same. And then for 36, it was the y dy dx equals y, so all the y's are the same. Okay, so don't have to worry about this one anymore. So, and here all the y's definitely are different. Here the y's are different. Here the y's, some are going this way, they're different. So all the y's have got to be the same. So let's take a look over here. And again, we could cross these out. If I look over here, definitely the y's are different here. And if I look over here, look, all these y's are the same. If I go any horizontal line, you see that all the y values have the same slope, because the slope is just equal to y. And as it gets more and more negative, the slopes get more and more steep. So number 36 is E. Okay, so I want to cross those out. So I've got C and E already accounted for. Now, these are kind of tricky, so I'm going to save these for last. And I'm going to go over here, because this is real easy, because when x is 0, my slope is undefined. All right, that's right along the y-axis. So when x is 0, my slope is undefined. So I look at that y-axis, and I look over here. No, the slope is 0. Here I already used that, but I can see slopes here on the axis. So let's take a look at the other ones on the axis and see where it's undefined. And it's real easy, because you only have 4 of these. Here there's slopes, here there's slopes, here there's slopes. This is the only place where their slope is undefined. And if it's undefined, usually we say it's a vertical line, so it would blend in right there with that axis. So that would be letter B. So 39 would be B, so I marked that down. And then on 40, y would be undefined when y is 0. When y is 0, my slope is undefined. Now that's a little tricky here, but when y is 0, it looks like I've got some slopes here. It looks like I got some slopes here. Now undefined will be a vertical line, not a horizontal line. So I don't have anything here, but that would be like a horizontal line. So I'm looking for vertical lines when y is 0, right along this axis. When y is 0, I should have vertical lines. And these lines look like they're approaching horizontal lines anyway. I think I might have used some of these. But if I look over here, if you look over here, when y is 0, go right along that axis. And notice how those slopes are all approaching vertical lines. So when y is 0, it looks like those are all approaching vertical lines. So that's what I would do. So letter F, I would say, would go with 40. So 40 would be F. So now I've got these 4 done, so I just have these 2 to finish. Okay? And again, you just use key points, and whatever works, you can use a different analysis for this. The next one is x, the derivative equals x minus y. Well, let's say when x is 0, what are my slopes going to look like? Well, when x is 0, my slopes are going to look like negative y. Okay, so right along the axis, my slopes will be negative y. Now I could look at E, and this looks encouraging, but I've already used E, so let's not take a look at that. I've already used F. So I've only got A and D left. Those are my only two possibilities that I haven't used, are A and D. If I got the other ones right, and I'm hoping I did. So let's take A and D. So let's take a look at A and D and concentrate on those. And the first one, 37, if x is 0, the slope is negative y. So when x is 0, and if I look here, when y is 1, the slope looks like negative 1. So it looks like as y is getting bigger, the slope is getting smaller, negative. And as y is getting smaller, it looks like the slope is getting bigger, positive. So this looks like negative y. So this looks like 37. So 37 would be A. And my other one was when x is 0, the slope looks like y. Well, the only one left was D, so I can double check that. But you can see over here on the x-axis, as I go up, as y gets bigger, my slope gets bigger. And as y gets smaller, my slope gets more and more negative. So that would be D. Okay? Now, E on that axis behaves the same way, but we already used E. So be careful here. See, E, you might have to do more analysis if you did these at first. Because if you look over here, see on the x-axis, the slope is getting bigger as y gets bigger and smaller as y gets smaller. So both those have that same characteristic, but we already used E for number 36. So by process of elimination and using those techniques, we could come up with D working. Okay? All right. So that's what we have. So we'll talk about the particular values. Okay, so anyway, so you can see here, 35 was C, and this is what I used. Let me do this up here, here you go. Okay, 35 was C, because the x values have the same slope, and x is 0. When x is 0, the slope is 0. And the y values have the same slope, so that's how I got E. And then for 37A, when x is 0, dy dx is like negative y. And when x is 0, dy dx behaves like y. And then when x is 0, m is undefined or vertical line. And when y is 0, m is undefined or vertical line. So that's how I came up with these solutions. So I hope that makes sense. You just have to kind of noodle these things out.